So welcome back to SMPostcards. Today I got the what sold on eBay. It's right down here, the agenda that I go through. You can skip around all you want at the bottom. I do one long video a week on Mondays. Around 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time is when it comes out. But you can skip around. So if you want to jump right to the special topic, just go down right at the bottom of your screen and that's where it starts. But the what sold I only sell on eBay. I don't sell on Etsy or any of those places anymore. Just eBay. The special topic today was West Virginia postcards. West Virginia is a card I always check. I don't care what it is or what I think it is. I usually throw them into WorthPoint and eBay just to make sure. Because West Virginia, some of the cards from towns are incredible with some of the prices. And then I got a poll. When do you send offers? I had a question from a viewer, did I ever do a poll on that? I don't remember that I did, so I put it out there. So when do you send offers? Do you wait a little bit? Do you have a certain schedule? We'll get into that. And then viewer comments. I got one comment, a person's having a problem with their scanner. They're getting diagonal lines on it, and they think it might be because of the blue. So I did a little testing with mine, and we'll take a look at that in viewer comments at the end of the video. I got about 5 of them to go over today. But let's go ahead and go through what I sold on eBay overnight. I sold 11 cards. Normal. I want to do this year 16 cards a day. I want to do $80 a day average and keep raising my ASP. So I'm down, what, 5 cards normal, but tomorrow I might sell 20 or I might sell 10. It's up and down. I look at an average for the year, for the month, a quarter, 6 months, not one day. But let's go ahead and see what I sold real quick, and I'll talk about each one. This card sold for $6.88. Came from the auction in Indiana. It's the Painted Lady House. I never really know much about it. It's just called the Painted Lady, and it says on the front here, someone wrote on there, built in 1885. Someone purchased that card for $6.88. Then I had a person buy, oops, dropping these things all over the place. Hold on a second. Making a mess here. Because I got to pack these up after I get done, and sometimes I mess them up. But I had a person buy 2 ship cards, naval shipped boats. This is the USS Argani, I think that's how you say that name. It's semi-gloss front, matte back. And the reason there's matte on the back probably is that people write in pen, and you don't want to have a gloss back on it. Oh, I just sold another postcard. And it's a naval ship, USS Boyd, DD 544, $4.75. But that's why they have the matte back on most postcards, is because the ink dries better than it would be on gloss. And then they also bought the USS Sanctuary, and then this is one of those hospital ships. Those always do very well, the hospital ships. I think there's a Comfort, and there's one on Mercy, I think it's called, out there. But those 2 cards sold for $9.50. Next one is sold for $5.75, and this is the Public Library, Frankfort, Indiana. Also from that auction I went to in Indiana, and this was posted in 1909. That's weird. It looks more newer than that, but it's a posted card in the Public Library, and that's sold for $5.75. Another ship card, USS Mount Vernon. I usually don't list Mount Vernon, but this is the naval ship, Mount Vernon, is what it is. It's on thicker cardstock, printed black and white. It's got smoke and stuff, something going on. $4.75. Another Navy ship, USS Ranger, CVA 61, some kind of aircraft carrier. Chrome card, and it's from a publisher. They didn't print, the club didn't print that out. They bought a case of those, whatever. I have cases and cases of ships in there, of certain cards that they bought. They bought 3 cases. One, there's what, 800 to a case or whatever, and I have them, you know, backstock in the closet. But that's sold for $4.75. Scudic Point, Maine. Nice chrome card, very well kept. And Arcadia National Park, Maine, $4.75. More ships. USS Nevada. Right there. Vertical card, black and white. Matte on back, semi-gloss on front. Now this is a USS Oklahoma. Look at those big guns on the ship right there. This is another vertical card. That one is matte and matte. When they printed this out on lighter cardstock. And I do have the original negatives of these. But they gave me also some big old USB drives with them all on there and stuff that they did make that. But those two cards sold for $9.50. And here's another one of those hospital ships. This is USS Benevolence AH-13. Nice card. Semi-gloss front, matte back. $4.75, but that's one of those hospital ships. $4.75. It's been shipped in. Here's another one. USS Tranquility AH-14. Black and white. Got some sailors standing there. Older ship. Matte back. Semi-gloss front. $4.75. So that's all I sold overnight, and that was a total 11 cards. They add up to $60.80. So if you take $60.80 divided by 11, gives me my average ASP of $5.53. So I'm still moving up with average sale price. It's a slow move, but it's where I want to be at in that range with the stuff. So, but those are the cards that sold. Now let's get into West Virginia. Always look at West Virginia. It's a smaller state, unique geographic, mountains and stuff and border. Just a different type of state, coal mining and stuff like that. But I want to go through and set a foundation like I usually do in the videos. Got some paragraphs here and some facts about West Virginia. Then we're going to talk about the sell-through rate, the pricing, and I also have one postcard that I had experience with that I learned something from a buyer. And we'll go over that also. But let me go ahead and talk about West Virginia a little bit, just to give you your curiosity. It doesn't touch on everything, but there's a lot to read about it. And while I do that, I'm going to show you some postcards I found out there for sale or purchased about West Virginia. Here we go. West Virginia, often called the Mountain State, has a rich history that is fascinating with its picturesque landscapes. It became a state in 1863 during the American Civil War, breaking away from Virginia because its residents disagreed with Virginia's decision to secede from the Union. This made West Virginia the only state to form by seceding from another state. Its unique history is a testament to the determination and resilience of its people. In the 19th century, West Virginia's economy was heavily dependent on coal mining. The state played a crucial role in fueling the Industrial Revolution, providing coal to power factories and railroads. This led to significant economic growth, but also labor disputes and worker struggles, like the famous Battle of the Blair Mountain in 1921, where miners fought for better working conditions. West Virginia's history is marked by these labor movements that eventually led to improved workers' rights. Today, West Virginia is known for its beautiful landscapes, including the Appalachian Mountains and the New River Gorge. It is also recognized for its vibrant culture and traditions, like bluegrass music, Appalachian cuisine. The state's history has shaped its unique identity, making a place where both the past and the present converge to create a diverse, interesting cultural tapestry. I picked out 3 facts here I thought were interesting. First one was, West Virginia has the world's largest teapot. West Virginia is the home to the world's largest teapot, which is actually a roadside attraction in Chester, West Virginia. Built in 1938 as a novelty tea shop, this giant teapot stands at 14 feet tall and is made of porcelain. Although it no longer serves tea, it remains a quirky, charming landmark for travelers passing through the area. So if you're ever close to Chester, West Virginia, go see the teapot. Then the Mothman legend. I've heard about this. I've seen different things about it. The town of Point Pleasant, and that would be another key town again as we get to the end about the other postcard I want to talk about. Point Pleasant, West Virginia, gained notoriety for its association with Mothman, a mysterious creature said to be a harbinger of disaster. In the 1960s, multiple residents reported sightings of a tall, winged humanoid with glowing red eyes. These sightings were followed by a tragic bridge collapse in 1967, and we're going to talk about that bridge here in a minute, leading some to believe that the Mothman was a warning of impending catastrophe. Today, Point Pleasant celebrates its eerie legend with the annual Mothman Festival. So if you buy Point Pleasant, you'll be able to see the bridge and the history of the bridge and the Mothman. Then the last fact, state with the fewest unnatural borders. West Virginia is the only U.S. state entirely situated within the Appalachian region and is unique in that it has the fewest unnatural borders of any state. When it seceded from Virginia during the Civil War in 1863, West Virginia boundaries were mostly defined by rivers and mountains and ranges, resulting in a state shape that is quite irregular and natural. This gives West Virginia a distinct geographic character compared to other states. So if you look at their borders, it's really weird, and how when they split and stuff. So it's a unique looking state. I have it on the thumbnail, the picture of it. But that's a little bit of facts about West Virginia. But I'm telling you, always look at West Virginia. There's some towns, I think it's Wheeling. I can't remember the towns. I just remember West Virginia. I pick them up and I look at them. Some are duds. Some do very well. Most are average. But you get once in a while you get some of those real good ones. But do they sell? I keep this little chart in my head, and I have it on here. I go through on the videos. It's a sell-through rate. This is how I think. It's nothing scientific, not down to the last card. It just gives me a guideline to what to look for. And let's see what the low ones I try not to pick up. The average and high is where I work all the time, and then I usually find the very highest sell-through rate. And this is how many cards are moving through the system. Not if you promote, not the prices, and I don't get into all that stuff. This just tells me card for card what's moving. I'll deal with it once I get the cards. I'll dig deeper if I have to. But when you're at a show and you got a box of 800 cards sitting there, there's no way you can just sit there and comp each card and look each card up. You're going to be at one table, one box, forever. So you got to learn how to get through these boxes and look at stuff, make a decision on what you're going to pay for these postcards. And this kind of helps. And after a while doing it, it'll become second nature. Another postcard sold. This is another Navy ship, USS Bonhomme Richard. This is a photo of a ship, not a postcard. I got those little 5.5 by 3 or 4 inch photos I got with that club, and this sold for $770. Must have sent them an offer. While doing the video, I sold 2 postcards. That's good. So sell-through rate is a tool that can help you. How do I do sell-through rate? I just go into eBay, look for the last 90 days. I don't want to get down there every day, last 2 years. I want to know what's happening in the last 3 months. Tell me about what's happening. Anything past that is trending, and that gets into more research and stuff like that. But I want to know what's going to happen in the last 3 months and what's going to happen in the next 3 months. All that past stuff sometimes can get people, when people are comping postcards or looking at stuff like this, they're going to keep looking for a number until they find a number that they want. Numbers don't lie most of the time, and a lot of people don't look at their analytics sometimes, their numbers, because they don't want to be the truth. Just like in YouTube, you go in and look at your analytics, you think you're doing great, but people are dropping off here, they're not watching this, you don't have this. The numbers don't lie. The analytics, this is what's really happening. A lot of people don't want to see that, so they'll keep comping postcards until they find the price they have in their head and find. And they'll keep going back 2-3 years, as far back as they can, or just whatever, or that one card that sold for $50 in the last 4 years, 3 years. They'll use that number. You just got to come up with some kind of system on how you price your cards and what you buy them for and what you can get out of them. You got to move postcards. If you're not moving cards, you're not putting money into your pockets. You got to move cards is the biggest thing. In the average world of postcards like I do, I have to have a lot of cards, a lot of variety, and I got to move postcards. So I take the sold in eBay, and when you click sold, most of the time it clicks completed. So it's got the completed and sold in there. And then I unclick and I look at how many are listed. So on West Virginia, we have 2,700 sold divided by 39,000 for a small state like that, and there's basically 40,000 postcards listed. You times that by 100 to get a nice round percent, and I round up or down. Then I'm not worried about decimal points. I just want to see, is this something I want to pick up, and where does it fall on my chart? 7% is on the top of the average range. So it's between average and high, basically. So it's a good average card, West Virginia. That's why I pick them up. It's a good moving card. Now, some of them are overproduced, and they're not going to be worth as much, but they do move. But you got to bump it up against other things. Apples for apples, oranges for oranges. You want to see, if I just tell you 7% and don't give you a chart or bump it up against something, you're going to say, well, what does that mean? Well, this is how it compares to other states I picked out. So West Virginia is 7%, means sell-through rate of 7%. South Carolina is 6%, and there's 37,000 cards. Virginia, with 100,000 cards, Williamsburg is probably a big one there, 5%. And then Massachusetts with 180,000, almost 200,000 postcards in Massachusetts, 4%. So if you look at that, there's 39,000 cards in West Virginia and 37,000 in South Carolina, and they're in 6-7%. The other ones that have a lot listed, 100,000, 180,000, they dropped a few percent. So I think there's a little, you can look at a little bit of how many are listed out there. Like California, New York has 500,000 postcards listed. Their sell-through rate is not as high as West Virginia because there's more listed. But they should sell more. But it's a percentage thing. So that's, you can play with all that. But I just look at 7% high. It's right in the middle of what I look for. Heck yeah, I'm picking up West Virginia. I don't care what it is. It's going in my bag and I'm bringing it home. I'll deal with it when I get home. Virginia, I'll deal with it too. Williamsburg, no. I got enough Williamsburgs and stuff. I got a video coming up on Williamsburg, I think. You got to learn how to make snap decisions in there because you're looking at a lot of cards. You're looking at lots and stuff. And you get home and you say, oh, I bought all these cards. Well, you got to learn how to get some of the good ones so you can put more money in your pocket. But that's sell-through rate. I also like to go out and find a high watermark, the highest watermark that's good. In my eyes, what is the top watermark that these things have sold for? I found these three. This one is pretty neat. Jenningston, West Virginia. Railroad train on bridge, real photo postcard. It's an RPPC. Remember, when you say it, it's real, or when you write it should be RPPC. When you say it's real photo. That got me messed up. So I'm still doing pretty good. Not official, but it sounds good. $355 plus $1.50 shipping. 7 bids in an auction. What sold that card? It looks like an undivided back. It's got a writing tab on the front. Could be wrong. I didn't do that much research on it. But it looks like an undivided back. So it's got to be 1907 before. Jenningstown, West Virginia is probably what kicked off a saved search. Someone knows something about this bridge, town, or whatever. And that's what sells West Virginia. It sells a lot of cards, but West Virginia, Jenningstown is probably what sold. I would say, I would heavily weigh it that way. So your town and your state are very important in titles and item specifics. It kicks off saved searches. People live there. There's history. Museums buy stuff. A lot of these smaller places like this. Next one, RPPC rare or hard to find. Railroad Depot Coal Mining, Upper Potomac, West Virginia, real photo postcard. $120. Another railroad one doesn't have a town. Looks like it's undivided back, older. So that's another thing, it's older. $120. Then you got Dun Glen Hotel, Thurman, West Virginia. So they got the hotel's name, Hotel, Thurman, West Virginia, winter snow, circa 1910, postcard. $50. So they got the town in there. So the town, the city, describe what's on the card, and get right to the subject of the cards. You don't have to put in there there's snow, trees, and all this other stuff. You want people to know it's Dun Glen Hotel in Thurman, West Virginia. Is what they're buying. Not the snow, not the rabbit tracks, the clothes hanging on a laundry thing. Just right to the subject. There's your title. Done. Move on. People, it's going to kick off saved searches. But those 3 cards there, I started at $355, $120, and $50. I would sell it. Love to sell any of those cards. That's your high watermark, West Virginia, that I found. Then we get into the average stuff that we see every day. And this is why I like West Virginia. This one, 1907 Stone and Thomas department store. Wheeling is another town that just in my mind, Wheeling, West Virginia. I think I've sold it before for good money. Postcard, $22.50 basically for that card. And that was a buy it now, and they had it on 25% sale, and it looks like an undivided back. $25 for a department store in Wheeling, West Virginia. City and town, West Virginia. Very important for West Virginia is how I do it. The next one, 1910 D&B School, Romney, West Virginia. Got the city and town postcard, antique postcard. I'm not for sure posted. All that stuff needs to be in there. You're selling the D&B School, Romney, West Virginia. So my title would be Postcard D&B School, Romney, West Virginia. That's it. That's what you're selling. Let them get into your listing and see that it's posted, and look at the pictures. People buy in postcards by sight. They're not going to post it and stuff like that. Some people don't really matter to them. They don't understand some of the things up there. An antique postcard, it's in the postcard category. I put postcard up front. It's antique. Everybody knows it's an older postcard who's buying these things. I usually don't fill all that stuff in the title. It saves me time. Plus, I just want to get to the subject of the card. $21 for that card. Not too bad. West Virginia postcard, White Pharmacy Drugstore, Soda Fountain, Bluefield, West Virginia. Got some good keywords in there. I think it's a little jumbled around in the title. It doesn't read left to right. I like titles that kind of read to the person. So this one, not to be critical of the buyers and stuff, I'm just telling you what I think is how, so you can get into my mind. A lot of people ask me, what should I use for a title? And this is how I think when I do it. And I've been successful. I sell postcards. I wouldn't use all caps. One, postcard, I would put postcard, West Virginia, Bluefield, West Virginia is what I postcard, Bluefield, West Virginia. I type all the names of the states out. I don't use the abbreviations. People put both in there, think they're going to get a little thing. There's 7 or 9 million postcards out there. You really think that's going to change? So I put postcard, Bluefield, West Virginia, pharmacy, drugstore, or I would put postcard, drugstore, and if you can see the soda fountain, maybe I'd put that in there, but postcard, drugstore, Bluefield, West Virginia. Right there tells you exactly what you're buying, what's out there, and if you want to put some keywords, there's things you can put, like the subject and item specific, you can put drugstore there. And it'll show you how much they're searching. It's what they're used for. You just want to get people into your listing. Read it left to right. This one doesn't read as well to me. One, it's in all caps, and then it's West Virginia postcard, White Pharmacy, drugstore, soda fountain, Blueville. I want to know what it is and where it is. Plus, your saved searches will pick up on anywhere you put the Bluefield and stuff like that. If they have a saved search for Bluefield, that'll pick it up automatically. But I like just putting it left to right and also when I'm buying postcards. As I've said before, I've sent my daughter down to look at postcards. Go in there and see what you want to look for postcards. She was looking at the pictures. Then when something caught her eye, she would look at the title and click on it. I watched her. She's not a postcard person. She was just looking at the pictures. Same with TikTok and stuff. You're scrolling through your phone, Instagram reels, and something will stop you. People have 1 to 2 seconds to stop those people in there to get them into your listing. The buy now button doesn't show when they're on the search page. It shows when they're in the listing. So once they see a bigger picture of it, they might press buy now. They won't do it just on the search page. So why put everything on the search page? Put it in the listing where they have to go in and see a little more details. So those are the postcards and where they fall. Normally the high watermark on the high ones for the average and the average things, $15 to $25. The higher ones, it depends on it. The other real photos and stuff sell themselves. You price them where they belong. But I would say the higher watermark could be 50 and up. But most of the high on the average is 15 to 25. Now you're going to get some $4 ones, $5 ones, $8 ones, stuff like that. But West Virginia, to me, I've always done better than average pricing on postcards with West Virginia. But you never know. Little add-on to West Virginia, as I said, there's a special postcard out there that I had some experience with a buyer. And we'll get into if I remember what the conversation was. But it's called the Silver Bridge. There was a disaster about the Silver Bridge postcard. And I have a little paragraph here to talk about the Silver Bridge, because you want to be careful of this postcard, and also it can give you some extra dollars. But while I do that, I'm going to show you some chromes and some other postcards I found of the Silver Bridge that are out there. And that's why it's important to people there, and there's so many postcards done of it. But here we go. The Silver Bridge, a historic and iconic structure located in Point Pleasant, where Mothman is, West Virginia, holds a significant place in the annals of American engineering and tragedy. Completed in 1928, this silver-painted suspension bridge was marvel of its time, spanning the Ohio River and connecting Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio. I probably destroyed that name. Its distinctive color earned its nickname Silver Bridge, although it was officially known as the Mason County Bridge. For several decades, it served as a vital transportation link carrying vehicles and pedestrians across the river. Tragically, on the fateful evening of December 15, 1967, during rush hour traffic, the Silver Bridge collapsed, sending dozens of vehicles and their occupants plunging into the icy waters below. And we're talking December. It's probably cold, or it is cold. This catastrophic event claimed the lives of 46 people and left a profound mark on the community and the nation. The collapse led to a thorough investigation that revealed a critical flaw in one of the bridge's suspension eye-bar chains, ultimately causing its failure. The Silver Bridge disaster prompted significant advancements in bridge safety and inspection standards, leading to development of more rigorous engineering practices nationwide. The tragedy also played a pivotal role in the creation of the National Bridge Inspection Program, ensuring American bridges are regularly inspected and maintained to prevent such disasters in the future. Today, a memorial stands in Point Pleasant to honor the victims of the Silver Bridge collapse, serving as a reminder of the bridge's history and importance of infrastructure safety. So West Virginia is known to help us with the workforce environment and stuff like that, the labor disputes and stuff they went through, and also this bridge helped define the standards for engineering and stuff for bridges. Now here's a postcard of the Silver Bridge, and this is the postcard that me and a buyer went back and forth on. I mean, fine, we were talking a conversation. I had this postcard and I listed it. Well, I didn't know this other postcard I'm going to show in a second is not the same. So this is the postcard Silver Bridge near Point Pleasant. This is the one he wanted. $16 is what it was for. These are not my listings. I couldn't find my original listing. But that's what these postcards were going for. I said, okay. If I remember right, I priced it up a little bit. And this, I think, is the card I had. It looks like it was Fader. $4.95. It's the same, basically, postcard, but it's a reproduction. And we're going to talk about reproduction that a viewer told me about on the mechanical postcard I used in the birthday video here in a second. The first question was from the buyer before he was going to buy it. He said, does this card have this, this, and this? There was a certain thing, I can't remember what it was on the card. And I pulled the card and I wrote back, no, it does not. He goes, well, that's a reproduction one. I'm looking for the original. I go, how? And so I wrote back, I'm always curious, how did you know from what I told you that this was the pre-production so I can learn? He said, there's certain things on the card. So you want to look at, when you get a Silver Bridge card, don't think you got gold. There's a lot of reproductions, he said, out there. Not reproduced, but reprinted, not from the originals. And that's one of the reasons I don't do a lot of those, is you get in those conversations. So one is worth $16, which is probably original, and then you got your other one reprinted, which is $4.95. So you want to be careful with the Silver Bridge, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. But I also went into Worth Point, because I use that to comp postcards. And if you want something different just to look at, instead of just eBay for comping, Worth Point is what I use. It pays for itself every month. I have a link down there. I get a little cut, I think, of maybe 50 cents on someone clicking on it and signing up. The channel gets it. No cost to you. It just helps the channel. Not a lot of money. Doesn't even pay my monthly thing. So, but they offered it. I put affiliate links out there. It's how you have to do it on YouTube. The ads don't make any money. I can tell you that at the level that I'm at. But here's one from WorthPoint. Silver Bridge over Ohio River collapse, 1967. $8.99. So some of these can do pretty good, and this sold in 2022. So when you see any comps I put up there, up straight up and down, that's usually WorthPoint on there. But that's the Silver Bridge. You want to keep your eyes on it, but you want to do your homework, especially that card I showed you here with that reprinted one. I learned something that day, so I'm always careful on that card when I buy them. I'm not going to pay a lot for it on there. But that's West Virginia. Known for coal mining. You're going to get a lot of disaster postcards. Get a lot of different things. When I hear West Virginia, it goes in a special folder. Unless I know of the linen card or whatever. But most of the ones I have questions go in my special folder, and I sit down and I do my homework on West Virginia to get that few extra dollars, because it's there in West Virginia. Who knew? Now, while we're talking about this mechanical postcard is a reproduction. I didn't know that. So on the birthday postcard video, I brought one up to show you that, and I even mentioned, I said, well, this is in really good shape. I never looked at the back. I have a box of postcards that I've used for videos, novelty. I got the one with the record, another record one, and they're just all labeled for what I use them in different presentations, the groups and stuff like that. All these different novelty ones I keep in here, like this is an example of linen. So when I go to do something, I can bring this box and show people different things. Well, this envelope is mechanical, and I use this in the birthday thing to show it says mechanical postcard. This one right here, it's the wheels. I wanted to show a birthday card that was mechanical and stuff, and that's what I was using it for. I don't list those cards that's in that box. I use them, like I said, for presentations or talking to groups or videos or whatever. I wanted to have those. This person came on and saw my video, and the postcard collector. This is what he said. I may be wrong, but I believe the mechanical birthday card you displayed could possibly be a reproduction. I go, really? I never listened, so I didn't look at it that close. I just took it for face value. He was right. I pulled it out, and I said, even though I said, boy, this is really good shape. I said that in the video. That should have been key number one, to look on the back, see if it's reprinted, because that's one of the things you want to look for. It's a really good shape for a 1900s postcard. You're saying, why are these corners so sharp and everything's so good? There should be little bells going off on there. On the back here, it says 1982 Merrimack Publishing Corporation, printed in Hong Kong. And even right here, it says our version of the antique. Everything is on there to show you. So hopefully, if I was going to list this, I wouldn't list it at the $25. I would have saw that on the back. I probably would have, but you never know. So you want to check those. You want to check. I'm astounded by the condition of it, and I really liked it. Would I have caught that on the back? Sometimes you miss, and people like this will point it out. That's why it's so important when someone asks a question about your listings or says this might be wrong. Don't get upset about it, because like this gentleman was able to pick that out of a video and knew that it was a reproduction. Good catch. And he also said this might be good for a video to show in the future, talking about reprints and stuff. And we just talked about the Silver Bridge, and I wanted to bring that up in here, that this card looks really good. It's an exact reprint of the other one, made, the wheels turn, but on the back, 1982, this is our version. It's a reprint. So whenever you get something that you think is good, it might not be. But don't be upset if someone calls you out on it, because everybody misses on there. But thanks, Postcard Collector, for letting me know about that. And it's in my box for videos and stuff. I doubt if I'll list it, but hopefully I would have caught. Another thing before we get into the poll, I got some stickers in. I've been holding them until I get a few to put on the board. I have this board here, right here, and I put everybody's sticker on there. Take a look at that. We got Desktop Picker, Pittsburgh, John from Cincinnati, all these different ones, some QR codes on there. But I got some new stickers to put on here. We'll set this right here for now. Now the first one is from Kevin, Commonwealth Picker. Everybody probably knows Kevin. He does the flipper and picker channels and stuff like that. Well, his daughter every year Reagan does ornaments. This is their puppy. And she signs them, decorates them. And this year they did 100, and this is number 66. And I went ahead and I purchased this because Reagan uses this for herself in hobbies or gymnastics, I think, of what they were saying on there. But it says Merry Christmas 2023 Commonwealth Picker with the little puppy, and this helps out them and the channel and stuff like that. So I always try to support other channels. And Kevin, I'm going to put it right up here by the little guy up there. I have this little guy from Kevin I bought last year to support the channel. I don't have the original. I'm going to have to get one of those. But he sits up there, and he's going to sit with those guys. But also Kevin sent some stickers. So we're going to put the stickers on the board. We're going to put Commonwealth Picker, or if you can see this, we're going to put him right there. Right there. That's where Kevin goes. Next one came in was a Christmas card. Sorry, Bill, it's been a long time. I've had this card forever, but Bill sent a Christmas. Bill, in a box, in the garage. In the box, in the garage. I always get it screwed up. Here's the two stickers he sent. So if you look at that, it says in the box, in the garage. And this is Bill. I think he's from Vegas, but he sent a card on there, Merry Christmas to you and your family, Bill, in a box in a garage. I've had it forever, but I want to put these two stickers on the board, Bill, on there. So if anybody's got any stickers that they want me to call out their store or whatever, but we're going to put one of Bill's over here on the board, and then he sent another version of this one, and we're going to put that right above me right there. So we're still got a lot of room for stickers on there, but we got a lot of neat ones. So if you got any stickers, and just send them the address that's in the description of the video. Just go down where it says more, and at the bottom down there you'll see my P.O. box, and you can just send it to me in an envelope with a stamp, and then I'll call it out when I get a bunch of them, like I did here too. I've been waiting to get one or more than one to put it on there, but that's where they'll be, and I hang it right up here. And it hangs right on the wall there with all the stickers. Better than just sitting in a pile somewhere. Go out and check out the different channels out there, the people that you watch. They do different things to diversify and help out with the channel, keeps them going. Reagan and Kevin and family does the ornament every year. I picked that up, support the channel, support Reagan. And I met them down in Cincinnati when I went to the Reseller rally, Kevin and his wife. Great people, true to who they are, and they're full-time, and this is how they make a living. So I like to support people that are do a good job with what they do. Now let's get into the poll. This poll was interesting. It came from a viewer. Zarnik said, have you done a watcher poll on how often or how long to wait to send offers? This is eBay, where you can send offers to watchers. I think they're doing buyers now, someone said too. But how long do you wait to send offers? And they said, I feel like sending them the same day as someone hitting the watch button might smell desperate and be bad. Was curious if people wait for a particular time of the week, like Sunday nights, when buyers are more likely to buy. I was interested in that too. I didn't remember any polls in there, so I scooted it in and slid it in there for the next Saturday. And I put out there, how long do you wait to send offers on eBay? And I put do not wait. I send it as soon as I see them. I wait for a day to not seem desperate. I send them once a day. I send a certain day, i.e. Sunday night or other. The top one was, I do not wait. I send them as soon as I see them. The second one, I send them once a day. And then the other one is, I wait a day to not seem desperate, 7%. And then I send on a certain day is 6%, and other was 12%. So a lot of people just send them as they see them. That's what I do. I'll feel desperate. Make that person, you know, that's right. I don't do counter offers. I don't do best offer. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I don't do any of that back and forth as much as a lot of people do on eBay. When I see an offer, I have 4,500 watchers, normally anywhere from 3,500 to 4,500 watchers on my stuff. A lot of them might be other sellers, comp and stuff, or whatever. I don't know. But I would not be able to keep up with all that stuff. So when I see offers or something to send out that day, I click on it, I put 10%, I click automatically, make sure counter offers turned off, and just send it. That way in the future it just goes. It doesn't have to wait for me. Let eBay do the work for you. All my prices and stuff are set up for the 10% offer. Even the lunchboxes get 10%. Everything is set up for that offer. If someone's watching it, I'll send it out. I don't care if they just watch it right then, I'll sell it. I'll send the offer. I don't have the time or the patience to go through and schedule something and think it's going to work. I just send it. If I'm desperate, I'm desperate. But here's what other people said. Jungleman49, I figured that in-post buying may not be there tomorrow, so I send the offer right away. I think 1 in 5 end up buying on offers. Yeah, they get an email or whatever, if something pops up on eBay while they're in eBay. They're not on eBay like we are. They're not living it and in there all the time and know how it works. They just see something pop up in their messages and they go in. So send it. So he sends it right away. Boulder Grow Picker, Chris, if it's within 24 hours of me listing, I will wait a day or two. If it has been up longer, I send it as I see them. I can never remember what I just listed and what I had out there. So I just send it, but Chris has a system, and that's what he does. So he wants to give it a little bit of time, so he can get full price for it. Thanks, Chris. Long Gone Geek, I have it set up to automatically send offers. How often it does, I have no idea. I'm thinking once a day, maybe. Yeah, you do it the first time, hit automatic, and after that it goes in there. I'm with you. I don't know when it sends it. Does it send it once a day or whatever? But I sell stuff and offers all the time in there. And like I said, my pricing is set up for the 10%. And you can click on the computer. I don't do the phone app. It doesn't do well with 50,000 postcards, I can tell you that. It takes a while, and it just, I don't know. I'm better on a computer. I just go in, it says offers. I click on it. I can select at the top. It selects all of them. I put 10%, automatic, send it, done. I don't do each individual. I'm not going to spend that much time on it. Because like he said, one person said 1 out of 5 people, 1 out of 10 people might buy. If you're spending a lot of time trying to get that, I just don't think it's good use of time. Thanks, Long Gone Geek. And then trying to learn this. Sales are so slow for me right now. No clue why. So basically as soon as I can. Yeah, people are out there buying, so just send it out. Thanks, trying. Then Colleen Tennant, I send offers at 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 8 p.m. It's a good schedule. Got a system. I appreciate the effort you put into that. So me, I would never remember to do that. It's just the way I'm wired and think. But if you figured it out, I don't know what the reason behind it, but she has a system, and it works for her, so she's going to keep doing it. There's no right or wrong in doing this stuff. One's not going to get over the other, but this is how she thinks, and she's got it compartmentalized, and this is what they do, and it works for them. So they got a system, they're working it. Then Raleigh Girl, I wait a few weeks and see how much activity the listing has. Usually I receive offers and don't have to send offers. See, I don't have best offers on. People send me offers sometimes in just a message. Most of the time I don't even look at them. It just... My best price is out there. I don't want to go back and forth. I got out of the flea markets. I'm not here to barter back and forth on a $4, $5 postcard. I'm not going to argue back and forth and counteroffer for 50 cents. Now the higher price cards, I could do something like that. I might, but not on the lower price cards. There's just no room. Number one, the first time you do an offer, you've lost money on a lower price card. So I'm not going to go back and forth for 25 cents, 50 cents just to get a sale. I'm going to just let it sit out there. And with the mini cards I got, I don't know what I listed. I list 50 a day, 40 a day. So I cannot do that. And I'm not defending that, but Raleigh Girl's got a system also. Everybody has their own little system, and it works. And that's what you need to come up with, something, and stick with it. Just because one of these people said they do it 1, 8, and 5 doesn't mean you have to stop and do it. But if your system isn't working, you might want to experiment this for 1 to 3 months. Now, just doing it for 1 or 2 days or a week is not a good experiment in the reselling world to me. I do things for 3 to 6 months and watch and see how things go if I want to change things. Now, if I raise my price 20 cents, I'm not going to cut it back in 2 days when the sales go down. I'm going to let it sit out there for 6 months and see how it does. Less work, same money. But there is a point of too high of cards, too low. Perceived value compared to it's not worth that. You got to find that common thing in there. And you got to get a following in your stores. Thanks, Raleigh Girl. Then Cat D says, every once in a while. Whenever they see them. So there's really no right or wrong to offers, but it's just another tool that eBay gives you. But I wouldn't bank your whole business on sending offers to get sales. 1 out of 10 people, like Jungleman said, 1 out of 5 might buy for him. 1 out of 10, 1 out. It's just another tool to get in front. Some people, I know when I'm buying postcards, I'll go out there and I'll watch a whole bunch of postcards, and then next couple of days, I usually sit at night after dinner is when I'm looking at stuff like this. I don't look at it every night, and then I go in and I see who sent me an offer and see what it is. Oh, that's a good price, I'll buy it. So a lot of people do it knowing that people are going to send offers. So it's just part of eBay. It's ingrained now in how it works. But if anybody's got any polls out there, any questions, I want to, in 2024, get as many viewer polls, questions that you have out there to people. So just send it to contact@SMPostcards.com if you had any questions like they did. Wasn't sure how other people do it. I won't get down into the sales dollars and deep into the business where the honey holes are, what they sell, and stuff like that. Just a high-level poll to help out people. Maybe it'll spur this poll here, spur something on you with offers. You're probably saying, well, I've never done that before. Automatic. That's right. Take counter offers. Why am I counter offering on $4 postcards? I'll counter offer on the $50 postcards. Stuff like that. It makes you think a little bit different on there. Thanks, everyone. Now we're going to get into viewer comments. I picked out 5. I got 2 in here I think were important to bring up. One is about scanning, and the other ones are about the envelope thing, the trading card envelope video I did about the new kits they came out with, trade card envelopes on there. And I'll show you that video in a second. But the first comment I got from a viewer, Quentin Carroll, I'm getting some scans that show diagonal and I can't fix it. I am wondering if it is the bluish sky background in photochrome postcards. Now, I wasn't for sure what scanner they have or whatever like that, but I did message back and forth that I do have the settings in the Ko-Fi store. And this is what they are. I have the 3. I have the 400, 450, and I have the 60. What I use. In their documents, you can download them for free. It says pay what you want, just hit 0. And this is how you get them. And you can read them. It's helped a lot of people out there on fixing their scanners. And I'm sitting there, so there might, if she doesn't have an Epson 400 or 450 or 650, but there might be a setting in there. They're pretty standard across scanners, you know, the color and different things, the setting names and the specs. You can probably transfer some of the things and come close. But what got me is I'm wondering if it's the bluish sky background on photochrome cards. I've never had the diagonal stuff. Once in a while you'll get it on RPPCs. If I put them in the collage, I'll see those once in a while. So I went over and I got a boat postcard, a ship. This is the USS Norris. Look at that blue and different shades of blue in the boat. So I put that in my Epson 450. And here's what it looks like. No diagonal lines. It looks perfect. It looks just like the postcard. So I don't think it's that. I think it's a setting on the scanner. Now remember, most of the scanners we use in the postcard world are document scanners. The 400 series are document scanners. They're not photo scanners. That's in the 600 series in Epson and some of the other ones. If it says photo scanners, it's going to cost more. How you get around that is use those settings sheet that I have, and it will take the RPPCs and not make them look crazy like negatives. Just set it to color, and there's some settings in there, and it works fine for me. So you gotta treat it as a document scanner. It's made for documents, not photos, so you gotta tweak the things a little bit on the scanners, but those settings are in there. Thanks, Quentin. I hope if you got any more questions, put it out there and we'll see if we can help you. What type of scanner you got and stuff like that. Maybe someone might know. Tim Pleener says about this envelope, trade card envelope kit from eBay came out. I did a video about it right here. It's got 3 different sections and a stiffener and an envelope. The kit comes with 3 things. The envelope, number 10 envelope, you put it in. The stiffener says eBay on it, and then the little pockets you can put the cards in. Tim Pleener says way too expensive. I buy EchoSwift by the 1500 and it is like 12 cents per envelope that way. Yeah, those I think were 44 cents a piece, the kit. And like he said, you can put these in a 14 cent EchoSwift. And that's the envelopes I use. 6.5 by 4.5. 250 GSM. GSM is how they weight them on there and stuff like that. It's not a paper envelope. It's got a little bit of water resistance to it, not waterproof. It's self-sealed. It's called a photo mailer. Stay flat. It's small enough where it'll fit in any slot. They don't have to do this to get it in a mailbox. I never have a problem with it. I can put 3-4 cards in there for an ounce. And the 4x6 thermal labels for eBay standard envelope fits right on the front. So thanks, Tim. Then Mary says, do you have a link to buy the Postcard EchoSwift mailers? Yes, to buy these, they have stores on eBay, Amazon, and their own website, and prices are pretty much the same company. The link I have is in the video description. If you look right below and it says more, click on that and go down in the description. Down in there I have them broken out, and you just click on that link and it'll take you into eBay to see the EchoSwifts. You can buy 10, 20, 30, 500, 1,000, 10,000 and stuff like that. They're basically 12 to 14, 15 cents. The lower number you buy, the more it costs per envelope. The more you buy, like Tim does, 1,500, he gets them for 12 cents. If I buy them at 1,000, I get them for 14 cents. Somewhere around there. And they come usually within a week or so. They show up. So if you're getting low, don't wait till the last day. It ain't going to come overnight. So I always tell people be ahead. So if you're selling 300 postcards a month, and you use these envelopes here, would you just buy 300? No, I would buy 500. I would be 1.5 times more. 400, 500 of them, so I'd buy a box of 500 every month. I wouldn't go out and buy 10,000 for the year because it'll hurt your cash flow. You let them hold your inventory. So if you're selling 300 postcards a month, and if I look at this, that's 3,600 postcards a year. And if you divide that by 500, that's what they come in a box. You're going to have to buy 7 cases every year. So that's not too bad. That's how you can budget. That's how you can do everything. On there is when you get them. So but that link will get you right in there. The next question I have here is from C-Mail 3702. Kind of a longer one, but it talks about those that trade card thing. The reason I put this in here because it sounds like he has a little bit he does have authority on selling these trade cards and sports cards. And he came up with some good comments here. I've never seen the pocket envelopes before. Because I asked out there, is this something in the sports card world? And he's never seen it. Thanks for doing the video. I used to buy and sell sports cards about 15 years ago, but I had to stop when the cost of selling low-end cards became too high. I'm getting back into it now because eBay standard envelope. Yes, that's changed the market. The biggest problem seems to be the top loaders being too rigid and possibly jamming up the rollers in the machines in the post office. I've heard that if they make them too thick, someone told me it's supposed to go around the size of a pop can when it turns on the thing. So if it doesn't bend to go around without doing this, a pop can, it's not going to make it through the machines. It'll get kicked out or whatever. At the post office when sending something in a plain white envelope. Some people say they haven't had a problem with it though. Yeah, some people, it's hit and miss sometimes, is what I hear. I don't have the problem with a lot of that. I think that is why they came up with these new pocket envelopes. Yeah, I think eBay is coming up with, they did the test where they sent sample rigid mailers to people, and people got that message and stuff like that. I got one, it was just stapled to the letter from eBay. It was a test to see what's going on. I could only see using the pocket envelopes on multiple card orders where the cost would really offset the price of the envelope. 44 cents is too much to lose on a single low-end card. Yeah, if I was doing 10 cards, 8 cards, the 44 cents wouldn't be a problem. One, it's a paper envelope. I don't care for the number 10. I don't care for paper envelopes. First place, the number 10 envelopes. I like a little bit of water resistance. Two, they're just too expensive for one trade card. To put in a pocket for 44 cents, I can use EchoSwift for 14 cents. Everyone I heard from uses a penny sleeve on every card. So I also asked, does sports card people put a sleeve like this on every card? Yes, they call them penny sleeves. I call them standard sleeves or mylar sleeves, 2mm sleeves. I've seen quite a few of your videos and have learned a lot, even though I don't sell postcards. I think the card market around, but I appreciate you coming in and telling us what the sports card, because I don't think a lot of sports card people watch the channel that sell the trade cards as heavy. I sell some, but I don't do sports cards very rarely. So that gives you a little bit more information there. Thanks, Sina. Then Quentin Carroll came back. I grabbed this one. She must be setting up her scanners and stuff. What speed and density setting do you have on your Rollo thermal printer? Some of the lettering on mine are faint. My settings are 6 and 8. I said, oh my God, I have never changed that or looked at that. It took me a few minutes to go find it in Windows 11. I had to, okay, where do I find this? And I found it. So she is set up for speed 6 and density. God, I can't say that word. 8. I'm set up for speed 4 and density 6, and that's the default. I've never remember changing. I've had my Rollo for 4 or 5 years, or ever since forever. It just works. And she's getting faint on here. I can probably guess, pretty good guess what's going on. I don't think it's the Rollo. A lot of people say you got to warm them up. These are small pins with electricity and stuff on them. What I've read and know of this technology, it doesn't take long or that much heat to get a thermal paper to move. So it's going to heat up as the pins. They're small pins. Take a needle and put it in a lighter. How fast does that turn red? That's how, even faster on a thermal printer. I think it's the paper, the thermal labels. I one time went out and bought some cheap labels. I said, I'm going to use these. Number one, they didn't stick well. 2, could hardly get them peeled off. 3, the perforations were horrible. They wouldn't tear right. Rollo didn't see some of them, so sometimes I print some out, I get 10 labels coming out. And also, it was really light. I didn't go change the density and stuff. I just got new labels on there. So you will, I think it's more on the paper. I would go out and buy maybe Rollo. Rollo sells a little box of 500 fan layer down, not to roll labels for the Rollo. I think they're 20 bucks. Those are higher grade labels. That's a good test to use on there. I'm not affiliated with Rollo, but that's what I use right now. And I think it has more to do with the thermal paper. And if you ever got some thermal stuff, they'll have the black plastic around the rolls of like Dymo labels and stuff. Any kind of light, UV light and stuff like that will affect those. And so you want to keep them out of the sunlight and as much light as possible as well before use. But if you got any questions like that, let me know, because this is how I learn, is viewer comments. And if we can help each other out, if someone knows more about the diagonal things with the blue stuff, it didn't happen on mine with the settings I have. But you can always check that out in the Ko-Fi store. Let me know on Show and Tell if you get some great West Virginia cards. Coal mining disasters, I know a lot of those go for good money. So if you have those, send them in the Show and Tell, and I can put them in a video and call out your name or store or whatever, the channel, if you have a YouTube channel, and talk about that. I just don't want to do about what I sell. Whatever you guys find out there so we can all learn and see what some of these cards can do. Or if you get some duds. Say you paid $100 for a postcard and only sold for $4. I never had a $100 postcard. I've had a $20 postcard I bought that I thought was going to do real well and ended up being a reprint. Didn't catch it. I'm pretty sure it was a reprint because it was too, like I said before, too good of conditions. But that's all I got for today. Thanks for sticking around. I'll catch you in the next one. Here's some more fish. Bye.